Hello, everybody. Today we're doing a reading on Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo. They were seen together at Paul McCartney's concert, and I'm interested to see the energy between them. So, show us, I ask, energy between Olivia and Taylor now that we've seen this. Okay, left Olivia, right Taylor. Left Olivia, right Taylor. Olivia, Taylor, energy in between. Olivia, between Taylor. Interesting. Page of Wands, sort of apprehension. What is Olivia apprehensive about? Is it the release of her new album? Right? Taylor's King of Cups, right? She feels in control. We know Taylor has that domineering energy, right? Sort of feels, I'm in my emotions, I'm with my man Travis. Energy between. Ten of Pentacles, both of these women are powerhouses in pop. Money, 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 right? They're thinking, what can we do? Negotiating, right? Sort of those things. Olivia, Three of Pentacles reversed. Matters regarding money, community, and those she's worked with. What is she thinking? Is she thinking, oh, I'm a bit burned, right? What is Taylor? The moon, deception, secrets, right? She's like, you know what, Olivia? I see you, but, I don't know if we want to tangle. What's your angle, right? It's interesting. Page of Pentacles, right? They come from a place, what I get the energy that I feel is sort of Olivia's naivety towards it is gone, right? She's no longer the Tay daughter, right? So the energy is just like, we're both powerhouses. We both make a bunch of money. But Olivia is like, I'm not that little girl, I'm not that little girl I was in 2020, right? So we both know each other, but, it's sort of like Taylor's like, I'm staying in my camp. Olivia's like, I know what it's like. I'm not pushing for it. But the nagging thought in their minds is like, okay, we make a lot of money together, but because we're not willing to cross the aisle, it's a lot of hugs, hugs, kisses, kisses, and then part ways, right? There's not that sort of interaction that one would hope, right? And so tell me, what does it look like? Energy in between Taylor and Olivia. Energy in between Taylor and Olivia. Energy in between. Alright, let's see. Huh. Goddess of joy. And the goddess of intimacy makes sense, right? Think pretty clearly, Goddess of Joy represents Taylor Swift, right? Create joy within and you'll never be without, right? Taylor's in the sort of celebrative period, right? She releases a bunch of hit albums, hit singles, she's with Travis, you know. Maybe on the outside she's happy, right? I think on the inside she's sort of like, you know what, I'm happy with where I'm at, as long as I think good thoughts, breathe in, breathe out. While Olivia is the goddess of intimacy, vulnerability is strength, right? Here comes that background, right? Three of Pentacles reversed. I've been burned by this business. Page of Pentacles reversed. I don't want to get in. I'm not naive anymore, right? Page of Wands. I'm not making any moves. I know where I'm at, and I know that my vulnerability, what I've gone through, my sort of issues with the industry. She recently talked about the hate she received in the interview, right? It's sort of like that's my power, right? And maybe come into her femininity, right? You just have the juxtaposition, Taylor's an older woman, right? Not saying that she's old, I'm saying she's older than Olivia, while Olivia's a younger woman. So you have that sort of dichotomy, right? So I'd say energy in between, I think it's the same. Hugs, kisses, kisses, we know where we stand, we know we make a bunch of money, but we're focused on our own things, is there bad blood? I don't think so. I think it's more of just we know where we thrive and we know what best plans to do, and we don't need to take or crash into each other's orbits, right? I like to think of it, it's kind of like the planets of the solar system. They orbit around the sun, which is the industry, but they never bounce into each other, right? You know, and then sometimes you have an eclipse, but it's rare. So hopefully that made sense. And, you know, as always, love and light. Hope you have a great day. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like this content. And hopefully there will be many more readings to come. All right? Thank you.